it's quite obvious that I've been playing Minecraft for quite a few years now, and although I'm no professional, I have improved quite a bit since I first started playing, so I thought it would be fun in this video to go back and take a look at some of the stupid things that I did when I first got a hold of the game. This is going to be embarrassing. But I'm actually going to start things off with what I believe to be a fairly common one. Pretty much everyone I see play Minecraft for the first time tries to break things by repeatedly clicking like this. I'm embarrassed to admit that I stuck at it for slightly longer than most. I was punching a wood block with my hand for probably about a minute and a half before I realised it wasn't doing anything. And then, maybe more embarrassingly, instead of Googling how to do it, I called my friend. And, well, to be honest, he just laughed at me. Rightly so. Anyway, once I'd finally worked out how to punch wood and actually gather up items, it was time to craft myself an axe so that I could do it better. So I did something like this, did something like that, and thought, yeah, that kind of looks like an axe, and ended up with a wooden hoe. Now, I don't know if you've ever tried taking down a tree with a wooden hoe, but it's pretty similar in speed to taking down a tree with your fist. I wasn't very impressed with these axes in Minecraft. Once I'd solved that problem, I then went out mining. I mean, the clue was in the name, it was what I was supposed to be doing, and eventually I managed to stumble across some gold. I was extremely happy about it, so I grabbed my newly crafted stone pickaxe and, well, yeah, of course, I broke it without getting any gold whatsoever. But I was not one to be defeated. I went back out with an iron pickaxe, gathered up a bunch of gold, and got myself a full set of golden tools. And was absolutely horrified to find that they ran out almost instantly. I mean, there was no point in me even having them. When I got my first farm set up, it was wheat. There was no carrots and potatoes back then. I was waiting for my crops to grow, and then I thought to myself, hey, it's night time. Why don't I just sleep through the night? The entire night will pass, all of the crops will grow, and I'll wake up to a fresh field of them in the morning. I was very disappointed to find that Minecraft doesn't actually work that way. This right here is actually a pretty accurate recreation of what my first ever base looked like in the game. Now, anyone who has played Minecraft for more than about 10 minutes will probably see the slight flaw in this design. For some reason, I didn't think the mobs would be able to fall through gaps that had torches in them. I thought they'd be able to stand on top of them. Obviously, I found out pretty quickly that that wasn't the case when a creeper fell through one of the holes and blew up all of my hard work. Oh, I still remember that moment very vividly. Now, this right here is a pretty accurate representation of my second ever starter base. You see, I didn't really fully understand how lighting mechanics worked in Minecraft, and for some reason I thought that mobs could spawn on any block that wasn't directly lit by some form of light source. So, obviously, the way to stop that from happening was to fill every available spot in my base with torches. I did this for probably around about 4 months before I started learning about light levels and things. Yeah, none of my builds were particularly pretty in the early days. I mean, let's be honest, I think we've all done it, haven't we? I mean, when we first saw obsidian, you know, we had an iron pickaxe, we thought to ourselves, how hard can it be? Let's do this, and then eventually, after a long time of holding down the left click button, yeah, that happens. I have just found some redstone though. That would have been good back in the day, because if there's one thing that I was very good at, it was hoarding tons upon tons of redstone dust. I mean, I had absolutely no idea what it did. I didn't understand redstone in the slightest. In fact, I probably played Minecraft for about 2 years before I built any form of redstone contraption, but for some reason, I just stored up all of this thinking that it was valuable. In fact, I was so proud of my collection that I once told my friends at school how much I'd managed to gather over the weekend. They didn't really care that much. If only they could see me now. I mean, they can, they're not dead, but you know what I mean. Anyway, after getting a little bit tired of the standard vanilla Minecraft experience, I thought I would give myself a bit of a challenge. And that was to take on a custom map created by someone called Vex. Now, for anyone who was around in 2011, 2012, you will know that name because he used to create custom maps called the Super Hostile series. And they were essentially custom maps that were famously very difficult and very frustrating. Now, you guys have seen me play Minecraft, okay? I'm not exactly talented at this point in time. Imagine that 8 years prior. Needless to say, it didn't really go very well for me. I probably tried it for around about 45 minutes and then gave up and, well, most likely cried into a pillow. So I returned back to Survival Minecraft once again, ready to continue on my vanilla Minecraft experience, but I have a confession to make. my difficulty remained on peaceful pretty much until I started my YouTube channel. I never came out of peaceful difficulty, I just found it too stressful. Now, one thing that I had no idea about was the fact that you could hold shift to not fall off of blocks. Now, I was trying my best to build a bridge between two mountains, and the way that I decided to do it, which made my life just a tiny bit easier, was to build in zigzags, because that way there was less chance of me falling off of edges. So I built a diagonal bridge in one direction, then when I got halfway there, I then built another diagonal going back in that direction to create a sort of V shape, just because that's the only way that I could work out how to build it. But sadly, by this point, I was just struggling way too much with regular survival Minecraft, so I installed single player commands and I started cheating, and from that point forth, all of my builds look like this. Just completely made out of diamond blocks, gold blocks, lapis, every single valuable block in Minecraft, and I mean, there's no way to make these things look good. And you may notice I chose to use a wooden door out the front. Surely if you're cheating in all of the items, you'd use iron doors because they look a lot more expensive and a lot more modern. But here's the thing, I started playing Minecraft in the Minecraft betas, the game was full of bugs, and I assumed that iron doors were just broken. They were buggy and they just didn't work properly. It was only a few weeks later that I found out that you had to use redstone, whatever that was, to make them open. Anyway, after my brief adventure into cheating, I went back into playing regular survival Minecraft, and while I was going around some caves, I discovered one of these things, and I thought to myself, this is cool, I've heard about these, they spawn mobs, I'm going to take it into my house and build an XP grinder. Yeah, I broke it. I mean, you would think, after the experience with the gold and the experience with the obsidian, that I wouldn't be stupid enough to do it again, but I did. And I lost my first ever mob cage. Now, funny story, when my friends first told me about the Nether, this other dimension in Minecraft that you could get to via a portal, I thought they were joking. I thought they were lying and it totally didn't exist. In fact, it took one of them to show me how to make a Nether portal before I even believed it. Now, you may be wondering how exactly I behaved when I first went through into the Nether. Well, it's quite simple. I came straight through and immediately punched a pigman because they scared me, and then from that point forth, I was terrified of the Nether. In fact, to a certain extent, I still am. So back to the overworld I came, and I thought maybe houses would be the thing to build. So in survival mode, I started working on the house. A lot of the houses around me have pitched roofs, so I thought I'd do that in Minecraft. I'm going to warn you, it's not the prettiest thing in the world because a lot of them look like this. A lot of them look like this. I mean, what? How did I think that that was okay? I would build these everywhere, and some of them I'd be slightly proud of. I mean, that just everything is wrong about this. And I know there are probably people watching right now who are kind of blushing in their chairs because they still build houses like that. Now, after concluding that I wasn't really cut out for playing in just general survival mode, then realising that I wasn't cut out for playing really tricky custom maps, wasn't very good at cheating with things, and I wasn't a particularly good architect, I started taking a look at the redstone stuff, and one of the first things I learned was that you can place pressure plates in front of doors to make them open automatically. I was very proud of these, but I had just recently stopped playing in peaceful mode and hadn't thought of the fact that anything can wander in your base. Yeah, I'm sure we can all guess what happened next. And of course, after the inevitable happens, I would rage quit, take a few days off of Minecraft, and then come back and make myself a new world. And I would never give it a name. So I would end up with hundreds of just new worlds. It would be impossible to sort through, I would never know which one was which, and it was just a bit of a nightmare. And you know what the worst thing is that I know that people out there still do this. And to you people, you horrify me. But anyway, one of the biggest mistakes that I made when I first started playing Minecraft is that my plans would always be way too big for my abilities. I would start up a brand new world filled with so much excitement, and I'd be like, I'm going to build a castle, I'm going to build a fishing village, it's going to have a fort, it's going to be completely crazy and amazing, and then I would get totally overwhelmed, I'd lose all my motivation, and I'd stop playing on that world. And I would repeat that cycle endlessly. I just wouldn't get anywhere. And you know what? I think I still do this, but the funny thing is that I play Minecraft for a living now, so I've just got more hours in the day to complete the project, so the ridiculous ideas are actually doable. I don't think I've changed. And on that rather horrifying revelation that I've just made to myself, I think it's time to end. I hope that you enjoyed this little video. If you did, please also hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later. Oh, and filming channel stuff, you know what to do. Link is on the end screen.